From Reminder Media, this is Stay Paid, a sales and marketing podcast on a mission to help you close more deals and retain more business. Hosted by the VP of Marketing, Josh Steik, and Reminder Media's president, Luke Akery. So get ready to hear the golden nuggets that will allow you to live a life of freedom tomorrow, but only if you take action today.
Welcome to another Silver Dollar episode of Stay Paid, the best sales and marketing tips of your week in 15 minutes or less. My name is Joshua Steik.
And I'm Luke Akery.
And the number one question we get from businesses is how to generate more leads. With a full pipeline of quality leads, you can not only sleep easier at night, but you can avoid the dreaded commission breath that tends to happen not when you don't know where your next deal is going to come from. So in this episode, we're going to go back to the basics and the fundamentals and into the action items on what lead generation is, the different types you need to know about, and the tools that are available to you. So one of the reasons I say we're just going to jump back to the fundamentals here real quick, because just want to go over a basic lead funnel.
Yeah. If you're looking to generate leads, we're going to give you, 7, 8 different ways to generate leads to focus on. One thing I will tell you as we dive right into this is if you are stressed in your business, a lot of that stress comes from a lack of a full pipeline, right? So if your pipeline is full, Josh said it best, you won't have commission breath when you're trying to close that current deal. And the same thing is sales solves all pain. So if you have operational pain in your business, if you have different pain points in your business, if you're making enough money, you can pay somebody to fix that.
Absolutely.
And so you need leads.
So going to, I love looking up definitions whenever we start to crack open a topic like this, because I like to kind of get into what it's all about. So from Wikipedia, lead generation is the initiation of consumer interest or inquiry into products or services of a business. That's all that it is. It is that simple. It's generating and creating the initiation of the interest. So to kind of start off, we want to look at your lead funnel. So picture a funnel wide at the top. Want to get as many people into the top of your funnel to eventually get them through your funnel, and you get a certain number out the bottom that actually do a transaction with you. And then the way that you would break that funnel up is you've got your top of the funnel, which is the awareness phase. Mm-hmm. So these are people that are probably, also call them problem aware. Like they know that they have an issue. They just don't necessarily, they're not at that point where they're looking for solutions or looking for specific products yet. They just know that they have a problem. These are people that you're probably going to be adding into your email list. You can use educational content to bring them to your website and then ultimately retarget with what your solution is. That then gets them into the middle of your funnel, which is solution aware, or also known as the consideration phase. So now they know about the product or the service that you are offering and they're considering using it. These are the people that you're going to call, right? You better be calling these folks.
If you're not calling.
These are the people that you're going to be trying to build rapport with, build up that relationship, go through the discovery phase of what their problems are so that you can help them understand the solutions that you offer, which ultimately leads you into the bottom of funnel. This is your decision phase. This is where you're going for the close. This is where they're problem aware. Now they're solution aware, and now they just need help making the decision to work with you. But that's your basic type of lead funnel.
Yeah, you got to ask for the order when they're at the bottom of the funnel.
Well, and also it's also very important to be aware of where people are in the funnel, which is why I wanted to talk about it. Because if you call somebody who's in the top of your funnel and you try to start closing them, you will probably never get that person because they don't know who you are. They don't know what you offer. They barely know that they have a problem. They just know that they looked something up online at one point, saw an article that they wanted to read, and then they filled out a form for a free ebook, and now you're calling them and trying to pitch them on something. So be careful not to. Now, I would rather do that, though, than the opposite of that, which is what a lot of people do. And that's people that are in the bottom of the funnel. They're not calling. They're still sending them email. They're still sending them newsletters.
They're never reaching out. They're never asking for the order. Another great tip that I heard when it came to making sure kind of from a lead generation standpoint and what do I choose to do and how do I actually go after these people is imagine you're going fishing, right? And when you go fishing, you got to decide a couple different things. You got to decide, okay, is the fish I'm looking for, are they in the ocean? Are they in a creek? Are they in a pond? Do they need small tackle or is it tackle? I'm not a fisherman.
Tackle.
Yeah, okay. Small tackle.
Bait.
Oh, bait. That's what I was looking for. Small
Same
bait,
thing.
large
I love that
bait.
Luke's example is fishing and Luke doesn't go fishing.
Hey, but my brother's a fisherman.
Fisher person?
Yeah, fisher person. He fishes. But the point being is you need to know what type of tackle you're going to use. You need to know what type of bait you're going to use because you're trying
what kind
to
of
catch...
rod? Do you need a line leader or not? What weight?
We got a fisherman on this podcast
The
right now,
bobber,
ladies and
can't
gentlemen.
forget the bobber if you're new.
And the sinker?
All right, we're getting too in depth here. But the point being is just like Josh is talking about in the levels that they are at, whether they're top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel, you also got to think now as we move into these different strategies, hey, where are my people at? And what's my best way to communicate with them and actually reach them? Because if I can reach them where they're at, chances are I get their attention. And if I get their attention, I can initiate, what a great word, initiate attraction to my services.
Absolutely. So let's jump into it. What are some types of lead generation that you've seen working?
Yeah. So first one I would say you have to be on right now is social media. Specifically, when I wrote down social media and I was sending it to you, is I was really thinking paid social, though I think there's two routes with social. One is the organic side, and you can use it to connect and build brand awareness and reach out to people, DM, all that good stuff. The other is the paid side. I'm specifically referring to the paid side when I sent it to you because the cost still per lead that we're seeing, and I would say across industries for the most part, but that we're seeing is insanely cost effective for you to be able to reach a widespread amount of people, even if it's just top of funnel, get them into your funnel and start nurturing with them. So that's where I would focus.
No, I love it. And so when it comes to paid, like pay-per-click is basically what we're talking about. You can use social media to run pay-per-click ads. You're essentially just paying for, per 1,000 impressions. And then some of them you're actually paying whenever they click, like Google. So Google's actually, the way that works is you pay for each click that you get on your different ads. There's different types of things that you want to look for when looking into paid advertising. Is how do you want to target? And a lot of this comes down to what we were talking about in terms of thinking of who are the people that you're trying to reach. You can do demographic targeting. So Facebook, that's a lot where you're going to find that. You're actually going to target people based on their interests. You can do age, you can do different things like that. Now, if you're running real estate ads, they have a lot more restrictions in terms of what you can target there. But that would be your demographic targeting. You can also do keyword targeting. So this would be perhaps in YouTube or on Google where people are actually searching for specific things. You want to show up where they are searching. And then the last one to think about from a targeting standpoint would be placement targeting. So this would be looking at different sites that you might actually want to advertise on or spend money on getting leads from. So one example would be Zillow. If you're in real estate, that would be an example. We might look at a site like Inman News and specifically advertise on Inman News because we know that we have an audience actually there.
Right. A couple different kind of thoughts for you with paid advertising that we've seen successful is items of value are really, really effective in trying to get someone's contact information. So if you're in real estate, item of value that we've been offering on some real estate ads is a list of homes in your area. So, hey, do you want a list of all $200,000 homes that are on the market right now? Put your email below or fill out the form, whatever call to action or wherever you're directing them. You can put where you collect their information. We've seen that be very, very successful. If you're in insurance, right, you could do different things like quote calculators or things like that that allow you to capture somebody's information by giving them a valuable piece of content that they want and that they've requested.
Absolutely. One other thing that I want to point out is the difference between some of these platforms. If like the difference between interruption type marketing and then intent-based marketing. And I actually think we might have an entire episode where we just kind of talk about intent versus context, because I wrote down some notes for that, but I think it's a little too much to get into in this one. Interruption marketing is almost like a TV ad. So this would be like on Facebook. You're actually interrupting what somebody is trying to do in order to show them an advertisement. So you have to be really catchy. You really have to have strong hooks. You have to have strong visuals in order to bring them in and almost be a little sensational with what you're offering or the problem that you're trying to solve. Because even though you can get people that are within the demographic that you're trying to reach, you still have to stop them from doing what they want to do, which is watching their YouTube ad.
Dollar Shave Club did this really, really well.
Yeah, it was a great video that they did on YouTube. The other one is intent. So you have interruption, then you have intent. And that's where your Google ads and like search ads and things like that are going to come into play. For your intent-based advertising, you want to be more helpful. So interruption, you want to be more sensational, catch people's attention. For your intent-based, you want to be more helpful because typically people are out there looking for an answer to something or looking for a solution.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Other types of lead generation, you can do content marketing. So we have a whole podcast that we did on content marketing that we put out there. That's definitely a longer term game.
This is where I would fit in things like your blogging, right? Or, you are doing mailers for a farm area and your content's hitting them. Now you're going to have some brand awareness type stuff and call to action stuff in there, but you're really just hitting them with content to build brand credibility and brand authority.
Referrals, another huge source of your leads. A lot of people don't think of referrals as leads.
I have to tell people this stat every time I share on referrals because it blows my mind. I think this was a Dale Carnegie study. If you Google it, 91% of your people will refer right now, 11% ask. So what is the simple or simplicity behind lead generation with referrals is just asking. It's just developing a drip nurturing system and asking for referrals. Ask yourself right now, have you asked your database recently for referrals? And if you haven't, that's your action item for the week.
Circle prospecting is another way to generate leads. Again, you're out there prospecting, but you're basically fishing for people that might be interested in what you offer.
The key with circle prospecting when it comes to lead gen is you're really trying to circle prospect around something that gives you leverage. So if you're in real estate, that leverage might be a recent listing that popped up on the street and you're calling the 50 closest neighbors or something like that. For us in our business, our circle prospecting is if we work with Ariel, the real estate agent in this office, she's just popping up to attention right now, then we're going to call everybody else in that office and kind of use that leverage point, right? So it's using something of leverage that you have. So if you're on LinkedIn every day, you might just have a mutual connection that you can use to go to all of your other LinkedIn connections. That's the way to circle prospect.
Events is another great place to generate leads, whether you actually go to a trade show. We have a whole episode on how to pitch at trade shows to generate those leads. Or if you're going to an event that's in your industry, just to network and potentially add people into your referral network.
Mark Miner, I think it was, that we interviewed. He has a $500 million book of business in financial services. He built most of that business on events, like golf events and stuff like that. You should go check out that events episode.
And then bring his clients. His clients would bring their high net worth friends. And then
so it's a way to tap into his referral network through events.
Email is going to be one of your absolute strongest. It continues to be one of the strongest lead generation sources, as well as one of the highest pieces of ROI. Make sure that you are segmenting people in your email list. Again, even if it's as simple as saying top of funnel folks, middle of funnel folks, bottom of funnel folks, just so you know what types of messages and what types of emails you're going to be sending. The most successful emails are personalized and tailored to the people that are receiving those emails. The mass blasts work. They can work, but they don't work nearly as highly effective as those super targeted ones.
Yeah, segmentation is the key for email marketing.
So speaking of segmentation, you're going to need a tool to be able to segment the people on your list. We want to go over some of the tools that we've used and that we recommend in terms of generating leads and then managing the entire leads process. I guess starting off with like lead platforms, we talked about it a little bit. Facebook and Instagram still continue to be phenomenal.
LinkedIn, if you're in financial services, recruiting, stuff like that, LinkedIn is the choice there.
Google, if you're targeting AdWords, so this would be targeting specific keywords. YouTube is really growing, I guess I should say, in terms of popularity and adoption for people bidding on ads there. The great thing about Google, and Google owns YouTube, they know your intent so well because they see what you're searching. They also have these affinity groups that you can advertise to. So you can actually advertise to people that may be thinking of selling or buying because they have all of this other data that they can use to build up those infinity groups. Podcast is another place that you can advertise.
I didn't even think about
podcasts. Go to
podcasts,
a site like Midroll, midroll.com. You can purchase automatic podcast advertising for that as well. Then in order to handle all of your leads, you're going to need some sort of marketing automation. This is where you're going to be sending out your emails. You're also going to be developing your nurture streams and your drip touch points. HubSpot, you can check out ActiveCampaign. Marketo is what we use. SharpSpring, MailChimp. There's so many. What I would recommend people to do here is go to a website like g2.com. That is the letter G, the number 2.com. Type in marketing automation. You're going to get all of the ones that are available. You can see price points. You can see reviews. You can see a quick list of features. Think of the features that you would like to have in your email marketing and your marketing automation software and try some of those out. Business.
Look at integrations as well. See if they can integrate, because you're going to want them to integrate with your CRM, because that's the next tool that you want to make sure to do effective lead generation. Really, to make it worthwhile, you have to have lead conversion, right? And that's only going to happen if you actually can store and keep track of your contacts and making sure that you're outreaching. We talked about bottom of funnel and making your calls. So just make sure you have a good CRM platform. Another tip I would give you from a tool perspective is like a social media scheduler. So what is it that we use? Agora Pulse?
We use Agora Pulse. Yep.
So we use Agora Pulse, but there's so many social media schedulers out there that you can use that are really good. The key there that we always tell people, so one of the value adds that we give to our clients is we give them a social media scheduler within their interface, but we also give them content, right? So if you think about the lead generation strategy of content marketing, we're giving you not only the scheduler, we're giving you the content. So whoever you choose, See if they have an avenue to give you content as well, because that's going to be really, really effective for you.
Absolutely. Then the other one you mentioned before the show was a dialer. So a tool that you need for your business about being a dialer.
Yeah, if you're in real estate, check out like RedX or Mojo or one of those Vulcan, I think it's 7 or Vulcan X, something like that you can check out. But you want a dialing system that's going to make you more effective to be able to call leads. Another thing about dialers is see if they'll actually sell you the data. Right. So if you can find a dialer system that's actually going to give you the ability to buy the for sale by owners, the expired listings, that type of idea, that will help you as well.
When looking at tools, it really is all about leverage.
Yes.
It's looking at what technology can I leverage to take some of these things off my plate, allow me to spend more time on focusing on my clients or going out there and getting new business for my business than managing all of these little things like who am I going to email today? How am I going to get this email out? So just looking at the different tools that are going to make your life easier when looking at it through that perspective. So there you go. That's what lead generation is. That is some different places to generate leads and then some tools. Just like that. 15 minutes. Thank you so much for listening. You can head on over to staypaidpodcast.com for the show notes and the video of this episode. To support the show, we'd love it if you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review, and a comment to let us know how we're doing. And the best way to support the show is to tell a friend, share this episode on your social media. Luke, what's big and gray and doesn't matter? It's irrelevant. Do you want to... That was like an oldie, but a good... I love that one. I forgot about that one. If you want to get a hold of me or Luke, you can email us at podcast@remindermedia.com, or you can find us on Instagram. We are at Stay Paid Podcast. And of course, you can check out Reminder Media and all of our tools that we have available for your lead generation. We are at Reminder Media on every platform. For this episode of Stay Paid, I'm Joshua Stike.
Guys, and I'm Luke Acree. My action item for you, and I'm going to put the link in the show notes, is I want you to start running some Facebook ads, right? I think it's still very cost effective. You will regret a decade from now missing out on the end of the golden era of Facebook ads. Notice how I said the end. I think it's transitioning here. We're seeing that in our spend. But the point being is, like, you should run some ads. And I know you're thinking it's overwhelming. How do I do that? We have a whole webinar completely free. Josh literally walks you through the Facebook ad interface, walks you through how to set up 3 different types of ads that we have used, that we are still using, that we spend millions of dollars a year on, that you can take advantage of, all for free. So check that out. It's in the show notes at staypaidpodcast.com. Remember, the difference between a top producer and a mediocre producer is top producers take action. Take action on that today.